Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast. I'm your host, Sam.
And I'm Emma. It's great to be with you all today. Sam, I have to say, I was listening to a podcast about morning routines the other day.
Oh, that's interesting. Morning routines are such a popular topic, aren't they? And for good reason. I think how we start our day really can set the tone for everything that follows.
Exactly. I had one of those mornings just last week. I overslept, couldn't find my keys, skipped breakfast. I felt stressed and rushed all day. It made me realize I need to be more intentional about my mornings.
It sounds like we're on the same page, then. I know many of our listeners are also looking for ways to improve their English and their daily lives, and a good morning routine can actually help with both.
I agree. When my mind is calm and I'm not rushing, I feel much more open to learning or practicing something new, like English. When I'm stressed, my brain just feels full.
That's a great point. A calm morning gives you that mental space. So, one of the first things with morning routines is the idea of planning the night before. What are your thoughts on that, Emma?
Oh, I'm a big fan of this one, at least in theory. When I actually do it, it's a game changer. Laying out my clothes for the next day, for example. It seems so small, but it saves my morning time when I'm still a bit sleepy.
It really does. I try to do that too. And packing my bag for work, if it's all ready, I just grab it and go. No last-minute panic trying to find my headphones or my water bottle.
Yes. And what about preparing food? The podcast I heard talked about prepping breakfast. I sometimes make overnight oats. I just mix oats, milk, and some fruit in a jar and put it in the fridge. In the morning, breakfast is ready. It's so easy and healthy.
That's a brilliant idea. I usually just make sure my coffee machine is ready to go. Coffee beans in, water filled. So all I have to do is press a button. But preparing actual food is the next level.
It does. And they also mentioned writing a quick to-do list for the next day. I find that really helpful. If I write down the three most important things I need to do, I wake up with a clear focus.
That clarity is so important. So, planning the night before definitely gets a thumbs up. Okay, so what's next on the list of good morning habits? What about waking up time, Emma?
Yes, the wake-up time. This is a tricky one for many people, including me sometimes. I've tried setting my alarm super early. I thought I'd be really productive. But then I just hit the snooze button multiple times.
I think that's a common mistake. Trying to make a huge change all at once. Suddenly, trying to wake up at 5:30 a.m. instead of 8 a.m. is probably not going to work long term. The suggestion was to make small adjustments, right? Like 15 or 30 minutes earlier to start with.
Exactly. I also liked the tip about putting your alarm clock across the room. So you physically have to get out of bed to turn it off. No more snoozing.
That's a classic. I've done that. It definitely works. And another thing connected to waking up earlier is, of course, going to bed earlier. You can't just cut down on sleep and expect to feel good.
So true. A good morning really does start with a good night's sleep. If I'm tired, I feel like a struggle.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've planned the night before. We're waking up a little earlier without shocking our system. What about making a calm atmosphere? I think mindfulness was another point.
Yes, mindfulness. It doesn't require an hour of meditation. My morning mindfulness can be just 5 deep breaths before getting up, simply noticing my breath. Or sometimes, while I'm waiting for the kettle to boil for my tea, I'll just look out the window and notice what I see: the trees, the sky. It's just a minute or two, but it helps me feel good.
That's a lovely, simple practice. Thinking about, today I will be patient, or I'm grateful for my warm home. Small thoughts, big impact.
I really like the idea. It shifts your focus to the positive right from the start. It's amazing how just 1 or 2 minutes of mindfulness can change your mood.
Definitely. Okay, so our minds are feeling a bit calmer. What about our bodies?
The next suggestion is to get moving. And again, this doesn't mean a full on intense workout session. I like to do a few simple stretches when I get out of bed. Nothing complicated, just reaching up, touching my toes, stretching my neck.
Me too. It feels good to loosen up after sleeping, or even just a short walk. If I have a bit of extra time, I might walk around the block. The fresh air is really invigorating.
And they had a fun idea: dance into an English song for a few minutes. I thought, that was brilliant. It's energizing. It's fun. And if you're listening to English music, you're practicing your listening skills at the same time.
That's a fantastic win-win. I might try that. Movement isn't just good for physical health. It also boosts focus and memory, which is great if you're planning to do some learning.
Speaking of learning, this leads perfectly to our next tip, especially related to our listeners. Schedule a mini English practice. The key here is mini. It doesn't have to be long. Even 5 to 10 minutes of focused practice in the morning can make a huge difference over time. Maybe listen to a short English podcast, like this one, while making coffee.
Exactly. Or read a short news article in English. Many news websites have articles that are not too long. Or review some vocabulary flashcards. And for speaking practice, you could talk to yourself in the mirror. You can describe your morning routine in English or what you will do that day.
The main thing is to make it a habit, like brushing your teeth, something you do regularly without thinking too much about it. Short, consistent practice. And keeping a simple journal, maybe once a week, to think about your mornings. What went well? What was challenging? What could you change?
And setting small, achievable goals. For example, this week, I will wake up 15 minutes earlier every day. Or, I will practice English for 5 minutes each morning. When you achieve those small goals, it builds confidence.
And it's important to be flexible, isn't it? If a part of your routine isn't working, change it. The goal is to make a routine that supports you, not one that more stress. It's about progress, not perfection. But as we talk about positive steps, I'm also thinking about obstacles like late-night social media. What do you think, Sam?
Yes, the digital rabbit hole. That's a big one. If you're up late, it's hard to make morning routines work. So, managing evenings is as important as planning mornings.
Exactly. Another obstacle mentioned was overscheduling mornings. Trying to do too much can backfire and leave you more stressed.
True. It's about balance. Maybe start with just 1 or 2 new things, like planning your outfit the night before, and 5 minutes of English practice. Once those are habits, you could add more if you like.
That's very sensible advice. Start small, be consistent, and build from there. The aim is to feel more prepared, calm, and focused for the day ahead, not to add more pressure.
Precisely. It's amazing how small, intentional morning actions can positively affect your whole day. You will feel more in control, energized, and ready for challenges, whether it's a busy workday or practicing English.
Especially practicing new English tenses. But yes, I totally agree. When my morning goes well, I feel more optimistic and capable. It really sets a positive foundation.
Excellent point. The journey to a better morning is a personal one. Well, this has been a really good chat, Emma. I feel motivated to look at my own morning routine again.
Me too. It's always good to revisit these things, and hopefully, our listeners have found some inspiration too.
We hope so. That's all the time we have for today. Join us next time for more tips and chats. Thanks for listening.
Bye, everyone. Have a great week with wonderful mornings.